The Institute of Education does not occupy the first line degree within the minds of those who are ruling us.
Well, one of the problems, which is not peculiar to Nigeria alone, is who controls education? Is it the federal, the state, or the local government?
No. Nigeria is a federal state. And because it's federal state, the education cannot but be at on the concurrent list. Being on the concurrent list presupposes that when federal, state, and local will be able to get involved in education at some level. Of course, there will be a council, like the National Council of Education, where policymakers at various levels could meet. But education is not a thing that we can compartmentalize to any particular level of government.
So are we going to rule out state governments when we talk about education? The level of contribution of state governments?
No, you cannot, because they are supposed to contribute to the extent to which their power can earn them. Don't forget, originally, private schools were handled by local government. Until the military came and took over everything, universal primary education in 1976. And it was later when they discovered that it was too much for them, they returned it back. But there was a problem. The problem was everybody was feeling the state were not getting much commitment. Lecturers were striking everything. So now remove the aspect of remuneration away from the government. They set up all this universal basic education at the federal level.
Has that been effective?
Giving money. But for me, it has not been.
Why?
Because for me, it is just a way of creating hyper institutions that are doing nothing, just as agency for disbursement of funds. Like another time, people, I belong to a committee that is superintending telephone, for example. And I have nothing against telephone. But my question is, why must he set up a particular organization to serve as an avenue for harnessing money and start dishing it out? Why don't we channel that money into the budget allocation straight direct to the university? At the primary, secondary, you expect state to provide infrastructure. Then they say we should carry everything to federal. Things are not done there. Why don't we make this allocation available to those various local government levels so that they can be on top of their education, rather than someone responsible
are we talking
for
of basic education now? Or
yeah, I'm talking of basic education. Someone responsible for infrastructure, someone responsible for payment of salary, another person responsible for something else.
So in your opinion, the UBE hasn't been effective?
For me, it has not. If we have, at a time in the history of Nigeria, when we had bad military rulers who are not paying attention to education, because of that we say, let us remove them. What if good rulers come tomorrow? The fact that whether state is siphoning money or local government is siphoning money is a question of the character of the individual occupiers of the office. It also has nothing to do with structural government.
That's an area that I think we'll dwell on, especially TED Fund. Well, let's look at some of the underlying issues when it comes to improving education. One of them is teachers' welfare.
Yes, sir.
If we don't have teachers whose welfare are well taken care of, how much commitment do you expect them to put into education?
Of course, the welfare...
And that also covers quality of the teachers that we have.
The welfare of teachers are important. At least I'm one of them. And I believe government must do everything possible to make sure that they are well remunerated so that they can put in their best to improve our educational system. But the position I'm trying to canvass in the last discussion was that we don't need separate level of governance to be tackling different aspects of the educational system. You see, the same money that we are pulling to give to UBEC to go and be building, the same money we are pulling to Tedford to go and be building, could be channeled differently. We don't have to...
Channeled differently in what way?
Don't forget, Nigerian money is still our money. So the essence of setting up UBEC was we said, okay, because people are not... we no longer trust local and state government. That is the nitty-gritty of it. Let us set up universal basic education. Then we ask them to go and build a school in my village. And somebody will have to travel from Abuja to go and inspect whether the building was properly done. I'm saying this kind of money, instead of creating a superb agency of the federal government to do that, get the money to the local government. get the money to the state government, get the federal to its own. Let everybody manage whatever it has. Because I'm within the system. Sometimes all these things they call it, what is it, monitoring or something like that. The amount of money they spend on that is even more than the contract project. Abuse schools, and then somebody will have to wait for somebody from Abuja to come and go to the remote part of my constituency to go and see what we are doing there. But you could easily do it.
But wasn't that effective in the past? Schools inspection was very effective in the past.
What we are, I'm not even going to the area of inspection. I'm talking about area of projects, which is what UBEC and TED Fund does. Yeah. But what I am saying is, I'm not removing, even up to now, inspection of schools is still done by the usual local government education authority.
Effectively.
You still, well, whether it is effective or not is a different matter.
I say
but
that
when you go to them,
yes,
why are you not effective? What would they tell you? Lack of fund.
So that comes down to, brings us back to what I said earlier. When we talk about lack of funds, we're talking about the negative effect it has. There are no teaching aids. There is no appropriate infrastructure.
Who provides that?
The funds are supposed to be made available. So clearly, it is one of the biggest problems.
So we agree, everybody agrees that there is underfunding within the educational system. There's no doubt about that.
Is it at the budget level?
But,
is it at the budget level?
Well, budget may be part of it, but budget for education that you're talking of Nigeria, you cannot talk in isolation of federal government budget. Because it's on the concurrently, you have to talk in terms of how much has the federal government committed, how much are the state committee, and how much are the local government committee, because each and every one of them has different areas that they are focusing attention on. And my own position is that we should make adequate amount of money available on the basis of the fact that Nigeria is a federal state. So that once money goes to the state, to know this money is for education of the state, implemented by the state. Not that federal government will stop and be implementing projects in state. It's never done anywhere.
Very well then. Prof, let's take a break now. And when we come back, we'll look at the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund, and how the National Assembly is carrying out its oversight function on the education sector. Please join us again.